Hi and welcome back again. In this video I will be showing you some of the items that I seem to be using the most on this trip, which I'm now about 2 weeks into. I was fully packed and supplied when I left, but I'm having to stop several times now to pick up certain items that I use the most. And there's also some items that I'm not using that often, but they might be a handy thing just to have on hand in case of an emergency. Okay, so we're going to start with hand sanitizer. Now, I have not had to purchase any of this. I do have two big bottles. One is in the storage on the top, and I have this one I keep in my console when I'm driving because when you're pumping gas and things like that, and you don't always got a way to wash your hands, I just put this on until I get a chance to wash my hands because God knows who's touching those items before you, and you know for sure they're full of germs. So that's a good handy thing to have. Definitely have a bottle of that on hand for when you're traveling on the road. Other things, so things that I have been stopping to get. I'm using a lot of tin foil, and not so much for cooking, but when I do cook a meal, um, and it's hot, I have these. They're kind of like summer plates. I also have some steel ones too. But whatever the case is, I usually put a sheet of this on over the plate, and it makes it very easy for me to clean up afterwards when I don't have a large sink where I can do dishes. So this I'm using a lot of. I'm on my second roll of this. Baby wipes, can't have enough of these. I'm probably on my fourth pack of baby wipes, and I use these for everything, for my face, wiping my hands all the time. I also use them on the dog, like on his paws, and just wipe his face and stuff at night when it's time to, like, for him to come in and lay down. I just clean him up a little bit, and I just use the regular non-scented baby wipes on him too. Um, Sunscreen. I always carry sunscreen. I haven't had to purchase this because I have this giant bottle and it's probably still half full right now, but I do try to put this on every day. Um, Tissues. I've gone through a couple boxes of the tissues because sometimes I find that it's easier or I'm closer to the tissues if I'm going to wipe a fork or a spoon or something off, and I'll just grab a tissue to do it. It's much easier. Um, Paper towels. I've had to stop several times to gather paper towels. I now have like 3 rolls, and I have some put up in my storage, so I won't have to stop now for a while. But I'm using a lot of paper towels, and that, of course, is because I don't have a big enough sink where I can really do my dishes. So I am using the spray bottle with the vinegar and water in it, and every time I use a cup, a plate, a frying pan, or whatever I'm using to prepare my meals. And also for the dogs' containers as well. Every once in a while, I'll just spray the dogs' containers, and I'll use the paper towels just to wipe them out. So a lot of paper towels. This is probably the most used thing, would be the paper towels. Um, and maybe the second most used thing would be that toilet paper that I have stored in every little extra spare spot that's in my van. Lots of toilet paper. I haven't actually had to buy any toilet paper because I had so many little spare pockets and I had it stuffed in everywhere. Every cover I lift up or every shelf I look in, I'm finding a roll of toilet paper. So far I haven't had to purchase any toilet paper. Uh, Bags for my portable potty. The little cassette potty it collapses in a little square, and I don't actually collapse it down. I just leave it open all the time. I have enough room in the van that I don't have to store it away. So I use a lot of these, and I got these on Temu because I had a hard time trying to find ones that fit that item. I tried different kinds, from different grocery stores. Um, wherever, like dollar stores and whatnot, and it was very difficult to find the proper bags. So I found them on YouTube. Sorry, not on YouTube. I found them on Temu, and before I left, I purchased 6 rolls of these, and there is 20 in each one. So far these are good, and I do when I'm using them, in case you know, like one might leak or whatever. I always put 3 in there just in case. You know, you don't want to have spillage in your van for sure. That would be god awful. Yeah, so lots of bags. Another thing, there's definitely not too many mosquitoes here today. Actually, the sun was out and it was nice. And now the sun has gone in. It's gotten a little chilly and the wind is picking up here. And there are no mosquitoes. But sometimes here in the evening time, when the wind always seems to die out, mosquitoes seem to come out. And there has not been a lot of them, but I do have some of these on in, and I do like one in, and it's just uh, one of these lit is enough to keep the mosquitoes at bay here. So this is definitely anything to have. Um, okay, so I wanted to mention this. So these are fuses that fit my van, and I have a bunch of these here. And I'm glad I did, because I am like plugging in my Jackery to the cigarette lighter. I have 2. Usually one is connected back in the back to my freezer. And then I keep the spare one up in the front. And as I'm driving, I will have that plugged into my cigarette lighter to power that up. And then I don't know what happened. Twice now I have blown the fuse. So I'm really glad that I had these things with me, because it made my life a lot easier, and it makes my life a lot easier that I can plug the Jackery in as I'm driving to charge it, because that's the biggest issue I think in the van, especially when you have a freezer full of frozen food, keeping it cold and having enough power to keep it cold. I've been fortunate also since I've been here. We've gotten lots of sun. Today I put my Jackery out with the solar panels, and it's been off and on with the sun. They were at, or the one was at 30% when I put it out, and it's now up on 75, and it's been out for about 5 hours or so. So not too bad. I expect by the end of the day it will be getting up close to 100, because the sun is supposed to come back out again around 4 p.m. for another couple hours. I always carry gloves with me because I don't like to do work outside, like hammering. You know, I have to hammer my pegs in for my awning and that sort of thing. Or sometimes, like in this area, I had to do some cleanup here when I arrived, because it is an area that I think gets used quite often during the summer months, and some people did leave garbage behind. So it's good that I always have gloves, and I have some rubber gloves too in the back for when I'm doing work and just cleaning up around an area where I'm at. Always comes in handy. This is not something that I have to keep buying, but these things come in really handy. When the nighttime, when I put my reflectives in the window, say my front windows, I usually keep them down to where the rain guard is. So I'll lower them down at about 2, maybe 3 inches, so that a little bit of a breeze can go through the front windows. And I just take this clip when I put my reflective up against the window, and I just clip it with this to hold it on to the window, and it works perfect for holding on. I mean, I'm sure there's many other things, maybe even clothespins. There's lots of things that could probably work, but this does work good for that. It works good for a lot of things. So I would recommend having a few of those on hand. I keep this. Not something that I need to go out and buy. It's something I just put in from the house, and I use this to sharpen both my axe and my knives, and it works really good. It's like a stone, I think they call it. Not 100% sure, but anyway, I've been using my axe I do have a axe. It's an old rusty one that somebody gave me, and it's getting quite tattered up now. I've used it a few times, and it's due for sharpening. But it's also good for protection if somebody tries to break in at night. Okay, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't want to have to use an axe. But I think my dog is good enough to protect me, because the least little bit of noise that happens, like he is up and on the ball just like that, letting me know, hey, somebody's around or something's around. And I am not one bit fearful. I've had a few people say to me during, my trip on the way down, it's like, oh, you're traveling by yourself. Aren't you scared? Like, you have a lot of nerve. And I don't. With the dog, my dog's 110 pounds, and he really is a big teddy bear. But I know that if somebody were to come and try to attack me or get into the van or whatever, my dog would do what dogs should do, which is protect their owner. And that's what my dog would do. And so I have no fear of being alone in my van in the nighttime, traveling alone. I have no fear at all. There's nothing to be afraid of. Absolutely nothing. Okay, so I have another thing here. I'm not sure if I show you this. The bug spray, definitely. This is the best one. So this is just a little small off, but it lasts a long time. You don't need to spray a lot of this. And I usually just put a bit of that on my outside clothing and keeps mosquitoes away from you. I've only had to use this actually a couple of times because there is not a lot of mosquitoes. Baggies, I've been going through a lot of these baggies, so I bought a couple extra packs the last day I was at the dollar store. I just put leftovers in them, or sometimes like I open up a container of food for my dog and I give him half because he doesn't really like the dry food, so I have to put half a container of wet food on top of the dry food and mix it up to get him to eat. And then I just use the baggie and put it back inside and put it in the cooler. Or sometimes I have leftovers. I've made too much food, and the baggies are these are just the perfect things for many things. I even store my rocks in them, which I have a lot of rocks that I have been collecting up. Actually, I'm going to show you one right now. 1 second here. Sorry. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can see this. So I was at the beach last week, and I was walking on the beach. You can see the little heart there at the bottom. So I'm walking on the beach, and I collect rocks in memory of my daughter. I know I talk a lot about my daughter because I don't want to forget her. So anyways, I'm walking along the beach, and I'm like, okay, Renee, guide me to a rock, right? I was expecting to find a rock with the shape of a rock, not the one that I found. And there's probably millions of rocks on this beach. It is a huge beach, full of pebbles of all different sizes and shapes. But anyway, as I'm walking along and I look down, this is what I find. And this here is actually engraved, just as if you took some kind of like carving knife and you actually engraved this out. It's got an indent in it, perfectly shaped like an art. And I think that it's a miracle that I actually found this little tiny little heart in this rock, in the millions of rocks that were at that beach. So I just want to share that with you. I do collect rocks, and I have a bunch down in my crawl space, which I'll take back home with me and put them in my garden. Every time I come to Newfoundland, I always collect rocks. I'm like the rock lady, I think. Okay, I just have one other thing that I want to show you. So this is I don't know if I can read it here. This is called a heavy duty drop cloth, and it is a waterproof one. So I'm going to open it up here actually and show you. Give me 1 second. I'll throw that in there for now. So this is made of like a soft, almost like a flannel kind of a material. And then on the back, it's got like a plastic kind of, like a coating to it. This is really big, so when it's unfolded, because it's like a painter's drop cloth, or you can use it for anything. What I'm using this for is, I have one that I've already cut up, and you know, on the day when it was raining, my dog got a little damp, a little wet, and he wasn't completely dried off when it was time to go inside. So I made a sheet to put over his bed until he dried off. I also was using one as a mat just to lay my shoes and that on, you know, when I'm going in and out of the door. There's so much that you could use this for, and I definitely would recommend getting one of them because you never know when it could come in handy. I'm glad I got this. I'm getting lots of use from that first one. Yeah, and I believe the price, if I can see here, so I can't see. I think it's for something. $4.50, and that's Canadian at the Dollarama. But I'm sure whether you're in the States or in the UK or whatever, you can find a similar item for basically the similar price. So it's a painter's drop sheet, flannel with like a plastic on the back, and it can come in handy. You could probably even use this for a blanket if you really need to. It could have so many uses, and it's very thick, as you can see. So I definitely recommend that. And I think that is about it right now. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to just hit the pause button here, and then I'm going to pan around just to show you my location, where I'm at. And it's beautiful here, although there is no sun out right now, so it won't do it justice. But I will show you. We do get some bikes that go by, and you're probably going to hear one in a minute because I see one coming up in the distance. But that's okay. The spot is free. I'm not paying for it here. And I'm just feeling blessed that I have this area to come to. It was recommended by a friend of mine in the town. And he's like, oh, when did you go check that place out? As I did. And I've been here ever since. So 1 second. Okay, for some reason, once I start the video, I can't turn it around and face the other way. But here I am. I don't know if you can see a bike going up there. But this is the location where I'm at. I'll just pan around here. And I have my awning up, as you can see. It's handy, but you know, the material that the awning is made out of is really cheap. I was actually expecting it to be gone when I woke up in the morning. There was so much wind on it last night. And you can fish from here. This would be, this comes in from the Atlantic Ocean, and it's like a channel that comes up through here. And there is saltwater trout in here. So I've actually just gotten out my fishing gear, and when the wind dies down tonight, I think that's the best time, and the sun goes down, almost goes down. It's probably the best time to be looking for trout. There's my doggy over here. So yeah. I'm going to rise this up so you can see all around. It's so nice here. I regret not bringing my rubber dinghy because it would be so nice to just go out in that right now. And of course I have my solar panels here on charge. Sun is coming back out again now, so that's good. So that's about it for now, and not sure when my next video will be. It's a little difficult for me uploading. My internet is very terrible here. I'm actually with Bill. It's Virtual Mobile, but Bill Mobility, and it's really not working that great. So sometimes it's taken 5 or 6 hours to try and upload a video. I'm going to be trying over the next couple days putting some of the video from my GoPro onto my phone and trying to upload some of that. That would be my original videos that I started taking when I was coming down and going up through Grossmore. I haven't uploaded any of that yet because I have to transfer from, like I said, from my GoPro to the phone, and it's all a complicated kind of thing to do. But anyways, I wish you again a great Sunday. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Please subscribe to me if you like my videos and you want to see more. Thank you so much for all your support. I really do appreciate it. And until then, have an awesome day and an awesome week coming up. Bye.